Hello everybody and welcome back to Up the Guts, and we're continuing our season previews as we've been doing all series. Let me know down in the comments or send us a message on Instagram, uptheguts_, if you are enjoying this series, or if you're watching this on YouTube, leave a comment below. And I believe you can leave a comment on Spotify as well, so you do that. Make sure to leave a comment and like, follow and subscribe, whether it's YouTube, subscribing, following on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. But we have just done Collingwood. We are now up to the Essendon Football Club. Will they play finals in 2025 for the first time in a while? Will they play finals for the first time in a while? And will they win a final for the first time in a while? Let's see what I think. So let's get straight into it. In 2024, Essendon finished 11th. A bit of a disappointing year. They showed glimpses in some parts of the year, and other parts they were really poor. If you ask any Essendon fan, it's pretty stock standard for them now. They don't set very high standards. Well, that's some of the fans at least. I know there's big talks about Isaac Kako, who they took in pick 13, a really dashing small forward who has all the tricks. They've also, with their pick, a 37th pick, they brought in Kane Siren. I hope I said that one right. Apologies. No. Pick 39, they used it on key defender. Yeah, key defender Angus Clark. Pick 61, they picked up Reece Irwin. Pick 70, they used on Ruckman. Not Ruckman. They used on midfielder, I believe, Zach Johnson. And with preseason, rookie draft, they picked up Archer Day Wicks. Jaden Nguyen was a Category B rookie. Seen some highlights. If you're a follower of Baseline Footy, they were big on Jaden Nguyen. And Jackson Pryor was picked up as an SSP from the Brisbane Lions. Now, outs, I've got a few outs. Kane Baldwin was one of the ones who was delisted. Jaden Davey, one of the twins, was delisted. I don't believe we saw him, or if we did, we saw him for one game. Dyson Hebbel retired, and what a career Dyson Hebbel had. Captained them, was a Rising Star winner, multiple-time BNF, I believe, but was the Rising Star winner and captained them through the hard times, played with them through the hard times and captained them through the hard times as well. So hats off to Dyson Hebbel on a great year, and it's great to see he's continuing his career at, I want to say Port Melbourne. I may be wrong, but he's continuing in the VFL, his playing career. So good there. Jaden Hunter was delisted. Nick Hind, another one who was in and out of the side, was delisted. Obviously came across from St Kilda. I think there's a bit more into that delisting. Obviously very close with Jake Shrew, and he searched for a new home or pushed out the door. Bit stuff going on there. Jake Kelly was a real shock retirement. Was looking at 29 years old, obviously picked up from Adelaide. Said he was looking forward to setting up the next part of his life. So maybe just fell out of love with the game. Who knows there. Jake Stringer, as we mentioned just before, found himself at GW West to help strengthen that side. Tex Wanganeen was delisted. We didn't see him. And Sam Wiedemann, obviously coming across from Melbourne, was just poor. He's never lived up to his potential or the hype, and he was delisted from Essendon. If we look at their list now, the key defender position, they're all pretty solid actually. The three, Jordan Ridley, Jane Laverde is solid when he doesn't get the number one forward. And Ben Mackay obviously has that big deal that he is on. Lewis Hayes, we haven't seen yet, was a first round draft pick back in 2022, I want to say. 22. And Angus Clark is another one they picked up in this year's draft. Defenders, Andy McGrath, obviously last year and the second half of the year before, went back to where he won his Rising Star and his rightful spot. They tried to make him a midfielder. It just didn't work. His best spot is down half back, so he continues there. Archie Roberts, we've seen a few times. Jackson Pryor, obviously, they picked up as an SSP from Brisbane, as we mentioned. Mason Redmond, in the last few years, has just become one of their most damaging players, influential players. Lumen Lull, I haven't seen him yet. Picked up in not the draft beam, but the draft prior. Nick Martin is listed as a defender, but I hope to see him more as half forward, using his silky skills at half forward, just setting up goals. And not just that, he sets up goals, but he also hits the scoreboard. So they do have him listed as defender, but I hope they play him at half forward, because I think while he gets the ball, he's a bit wasted down at half back when he could be at half forward, really impacting the scoreboard and setting up the goals. You need those creative players up there. If he's not on the wing, I want to see him at half forward. Let me know in the comments where you'd like to see Nick Martin playing and where you think he'll be playing in 2025. And also they got Jay Newen, who they picked up as a Category B rookie. Mids, they got Darcy Parish, Elijah Sardis, who dominates VFL but just hasn't found his footing at AFL level yet. Jai Colwell, Zach Merritt, obviously the skipper. Dylan Shearer, who ended the season really well. Will Setterfield just hasn't had good games and then finds himself out, just hasn't been able to find a consistent spot in there after coming over from Carlton. Nick Cox still is listed as a midfielder, but I think I've seen his best footy playing as an intercepting defender. Has the height, we'll see there. Archie Perkins has good games, has average games. Just don't know what Archie Perkins is. Sam Durham, breakout year last year. I thought he was exceptional. Gave him something different in that midfield. A real explode from stoppages. Xavier Dersma was a good find. Good pick up from Port Adelaide on the wing. Just a consistent player. Also hits the scoreboard. Reece Inwinder, they picked up in this year's draft. Zach Johnson, they also picked up. And Saad, I'm not going to be able to pronounce this one, but Al Hawal, who plays midfield and halfback, was picked up in last year's mid-season draft. Rucks, they've actually got to pick of 4 ruckmans here. So they've got Sam Draper, who just can't get his body right. So I'm hoping for Draper and Essendon's sake that he can get his body right, because he's that X-factor type of player, just goes at 100%. Todd Goldstein, who's not getting any younger, but still can play at the level. Nick Bryan can play, but the difference is Nick Bryan, they can't play 2 rucks together, and he doesn't have any other strings in the bow, but it's definitely one another club, if he doesn't solidify his spot this year for Essendon, can look at picking up as their one ruckman, because there's a lot of talent for Nick Bryan. And Kane Geron, who they picked up in this year's draft as well. Key forwards, they got Peter Wright, Kyle Langford, Harrison Jones, who had a great season last year, I thought too. Nate Caddy, who's only going to get better and showed some big signs last year in his first year. And Vigo Vicentini, they've also got down there. In the forward line, they got Ben Hobbs, who played a bit in midfield, not last year, but the year before, but now they're using more as a forward. Isaac Kako, we mentioned. Jay Gresham, Jai Menzie, Owen Davey Jr., Matt Guelphy, and Archie Day-Wicks. So prediction, will they play finals? At the moment, I have them finishing around that 8th spot. I forgot to mention in the Collingwood video, but what I'm going to do with this ladder prediction, while I said I've predicted them 8th here, I'm keeping a track of all my ladder that I've predicted, so you might hear me double up on, say, someone's finished 6th. I might have 2 clubs that I think will finish around that 6th spot when I've previewed their season, but then I'll come back at the end of it after I've done all 18 clubs and do a whole separate video of my ladder predictions. So don't take this as gospel that I'll have them finishing at 8th. It's just take it as a rough estimate, and then I'll have my full ladder prediction in a whole nother video. So stay tuned for that one too. But I haven't finished around that 8th. There's just, I don't know, there's just something about them. Yeah, they'll be close. Look out for, I mentioned he had a breakout season, and I think he'll continue that. That's Sam Durham. Yeah, so look out for Sam Durham, 2024 breakout year, 22 matches. He's a mid-season pickup, 21.4 average disposals, and kicked the 10 goals. Just gave him something different out of that stoppage, that explosive power, real hard nut. Gets from stoppages and just explodes and gets it down to the forward. So I think look out for Sam Durham in 2025 to hopefully continue that form. Round 21 was his best game versus Fremantle, where he had 25 disposals, going 80% efficiency and laid the 5 tackles. Now, needs to lift. It's a package of 3 players. And it's the 2020 first round draft. So that consists of Nick Cox, Archie Perkins, and Zach Reid. They all need a lift. They're first round picks, and we haven't seen them yet. Nick Cox doesn't know what he is yet. We see him on a wing. We see him at half forward. We see him at half back. You need to figure out what you are now. You've been in the system for 4 years now, coming in to your 5th year. He needs to figure out what he is. Like I said earlier, I think he's that intercepting defender where he plays his best footy, but he needs to figure it out. Archie Perkins, we see glimpses on him. Is he in midfield? Is he forward? He needs to find this out. And Zach Reid just needs to get fit. There is so much potential there. But until his body holds up, we can't say much. They talk about him, oh, he's looking all this and he's looking all that. But let's see at AFL level. Get his body right, and let's see it at AFL level. So I've got the whole 2020 first round draft pick as a package deal needs to lift there. Well, there you have it, guys. There are my 2025 season preview for the Essendon Football Club. I've got them finishing around that 8th mark. Look out for Sam Durham to continue after his breakout season 2024. And and needs to lift is the whole 2020 draft, their first round picks consisting of Nick Cox, Archie Perkins, and Zach Reed. If you like this video, make sure to give it a like and leave a comment, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell on so you don't miss another upload. Until next time, guys, I'll see you guys then.